Folks, this is Lose Control every Wednesday between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. only on 93.3 CFMU. Lots of music to share with you folks. We're going to take care of some requests as promised, as well as some good news and some bad news. First of all, let's introduce our special guest, Rob Sweeney, who's live here in the studio today. And you guys finally met face-to-face, Rob Sweeney and Manolis.
That's right, yes. Today is the big day.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Finally.
This is crazy.
I know. What number are you on there, Rob? Right on the top.
Oh, let's see. Number 3.
Number 3. There we go.
Number 3, people.
Perfect. There we go. We spent well, first of all, thank you for driving down and doing the CH morning news with us this morning, live with Gord Lewis, Rob Sweeney, and yours truly, pushing our CD release.
Good fun.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went out for breakfast. You napped a bit.
A little bit.
And
what'd you have for breakfast?
Breakfast.
Bacon and eggs.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And I did a veggie omelet. I did. I totally did.
Why? Just to try to be different?
Yeah. I didn't want to be like anybody else. Although there was that lady that took some interest into our status of being in a band, right?
Oh, yes. The waitress.
Are you play country?
Oh.
Were they hoping you were country?
I'm sorry?
Were they hoping you were country?
I think so. This is what we're going to do. We're going to switch this one with this one.
Okay.
Because, there.
Okay. How's that?
Let's try that.
I don't sound like a girl.
Yes.
Can you hear him now?
I sure can.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love this. The sound system here is amazing.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Made by Realistic.
What were you trying to use? Like, were you trying to make the moves on this girl?
No. I was trying to make the moves on my omelet.
Are you like, hey, I'm in a band?
No, she recognized us before because
we've had breakfast there before.
Yeah, a few months back, Lou, Gord, and I went in for breakfast, and so when we went in today, she was looking at us like, "You guys look familiar."
Yeah,
and I think I said, "You're on Bachelor, right?"
Yeah.
And she laughed.
I think she questioned it.
You were really on Bachelor?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Said,
really? Take off your pants.
Lou said we're in a band, and she said, "Well, you kind of look like you're in a band." And then she said, "I like Def Leppard."
And Tragically Hip.
Lou said,
and Tragically Hip?
Yeah.
What an odd to pick. Are you in either of those, either of those bands?
Or do we play music like that?
But anyways, she was very nice. And
yeah, she was.
Lou's going to take her back a Tung Fu CD.
I am.
Will you put your number in the Tung Fu CD?
No.
Come on,
no, I'm going to put your
movies.
number.
You can be like the movies. Like, let me take you away from all this.
No.
I'll tell you, you won't have to sling eggs anymore.
You've
or
got
bacon.
all the qualities of being a good manager.
I could be a good manager.
Yeah. Some bad news. A local musician passed away this past week. Rob Monroe, who was known for his involvement in Frankenstein 500, the Noble Savages, as well as the latest band, the Mogs, passed away. His friend Rufus Flypaper just posted something recently, so we want to send our condolences to Rob Monroe and his family over this tragic news. We're going to spin some music from the Mogs as well as the Noble Savages shortly. As well, there's also some happy news as well. We've got music that we're going to share from Blue Coop. They're coming in town Saturday night, and we're stoked about sharing the stage with those guys. A lot of requests that are coming in. Some music from Dr. Feelgood, the Count Bishops, and the Stripes. You'll love the Stripes, Manolis. They're a bunch of young guys, but they play that they've been together for like 30 years.
How? The Stripes, have I heard them before? They sound familiar to me, the name.
We've talked about them on the show.
Okay.
And I think I may have played them once, but, I think Rob sent us an MP3 of the week of the Stripes.
Rob, I'm amazed, man. I feel like you're like a robot. I don't even know if you're real right now. I feel like you're just made up of parts.
Are you happy that he's here?
I'm happy that he exists, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, all this time you thought it was just like an
Rob
alias?
Sweeney, I don't know. Like, I'm like, who is this dude? You know?
There he is.
There he is. Can I touch you?
I'm here.
Yeah.
There. Shake hands again.
Yeah.
See feel the power.
He needs all the power he can get. So it's 3:15. What we're going to do is start off the show with our condolences going to the Rob Monroe family. We'll start off with some music from the Mogs and another one from the Noble Savages on 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU, music there of the Noble Savages as we remember Rob Monroe. You heard a song called In the Basement, and before that, latest work from his band called The Mogs and Run Like Hell. 3:20, Rob Sweeney, our special guest. Manolis sitting in with me as well. Ben Rispin is in cottage country. He's taking it easy, coming back tomorrow. We've got a Vice party at the Saint tomorrow night, and Piston Head's part of it. And I guess afterwards he's going to be busy looking after shows at the Absinthe. So he's kind of recharging for a bit and then coming back in action.
He's on vacation right now?
Yeah.
What does he do?
Yeah.
He needs a break, eh?
From being himself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. So what does he when he's on vacation?
I'm sorry?
What does he do when he's on vacation? Who is he when he needs a break from himself? Who is he on vacation?
Yeah.
That guy's a party animal, man.
He might be vacationing all by himself. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah. He couldn't be by himself.
3:21 and change. We're going to spin some music from Dr. Feelgood, the Stripes, as well as the Count Bishops a little later on the show. Coming in from requests, so please keep them coming. Just visit Loose Control Facebook page on Facebook and just become a member, a friend, and let us know what music you like.
What?
You look really occupied because you're trying to give your buddy.
Oh yeah, my buddy Jamie.
Yeah,
that's what it is. He needs a computer.
No, he needs computer parts. You said. Yeah. Come on.
He's my editor, and his computer's not working right.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So I thought I had an idea of maybe if anybody out there in the world of radio that's listening to us, like this is satellite signals going through the universe and going right to them in their car radios and stuff. Mm-hmm. When they hear this, they go, I'm saying, could they contact me on Facebook if you have an old computer, maybe less than 3 years old?
Would it be better if you guys met somewhere and just kind of went through it
What? Met who?
Just like a neutral location. Like, how about if there's a guy from Indiana says, I've got a couple computers,
Well, yeah, if he's willing to get on a plane with them and come to Hamilton, sure.
That would be fun, right?
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm up for that journey.
What computer parts is he looking for?
Apparently, he needs a DDR3. It's like
and what does that do exactly, Manolis?
It's something to do with the RAM, man. The RAM needs to be DDR3 or it won't fit. at least 4 gigabytes, if possible. Smaller than that will do in a pinch, but it doesn't solve anything long term.
So what's he looking for?
If you have a computer that's 3 years old.
Yeah, but what's the exact part that he's looking for?
Okay, the RAM needs to be a DDR3 or it won't fit. It won't fit. And it needs to be at least 4 gigabytes. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you?
What would it look like? I mean, if you were to go to the store.
It looks like a computer, man. It looks like a computer. You know computer stuff?
I do, but
it looks like the stuff inside of a compuder. What do you think? Who do you think I am?
Well, you're not very well informed at all about this.
Anybody that got computer stuff? Find me on Facebook and let me know, and I'll come to your house and grab it. If you got an old computer, go and get rid of it. My buddy needs parts because this is acting up, and you can fix it. So. I don't know, dude.
We might have to Google DDR3.
Yeah. Google that stuff.
Or at least Google image it.
Yeah, Google image it, and we'll see what pops up.
Yeah. You love asking me questions I don't know the answers to.
Well, you know what? Because sometimes you surprise me, and I figured this would have been a golden moment in front of Rob and impressing Rob, by saying,
What did I say to you on the way here? What did I say to you on the way here, Rob? I said, how many times have I downloaded a song?
Zero.
Zero times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you think I'm going to know what a DDR3 RAM thing looks like? Is that what you think? You think I know what that looks like? I don't know. I can't even figure out how to download stuff, man. I'm 43 years old and I've never downloaded. You know, it's like I'm 38 years old and I've never kissed a girl. I'm 43 and I've never downloaded a song.
That's good. You're a virgin.
Doesn't know what the term boot up means.
Right. No, it sounds like foreplay though. I'm not going to lie.
you do like it though, right? And internet baking? Why did you press that button?
Yeah, I said that's what I mean. Like Ben's like wants to send me money through the internet. I'm like, no, I don't want it. It's like I'll accept the money somehow, and then all of a sudden I realize I've bought 2 houses. You know what I mean? It's like, why did you hit that button? It's like that means you have to buy everything. Like I'm like, well, I don't know what. I don't like. I'm an old school guy. I still buy CDs. If I like the band,
We all do.
Yeah.
I also feel an obligation to buy the CD if I like the band. I only buy CD. It makes sense. I only buy CDs that I like. But I mean, like if it's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers put out a new album, I'll buy it because they've given me good music for the last 20 years. At least I can do is give them $20.
Do you think they think about you when they put out a new record? Like, do they go, I don't know, is that guy in Hamilton really going to like this?
I wish they did, because then maybe their last album would have been better.
Right. They didn't really think about you at all.
No, they did not think about me at all. They should have had, I swear to God, they should have had a meeting with me.
Right.
Yeah. First of all, John's got to come back. This is ridiculous. Who is this guy? This new album's got no balls.
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's horrible, dude.
I don't even know who the members
it's not horrible.
are anymore.
It's got like half the tracks are okay. But that's me as a fan, too.
Right. When was the first time you were introduced to the Alice Cooper Group, Rob?
I remember my brother buying Love It to Death, having it at home.
And that was the one that kind of opened up the gates for you?
Oh, yeah. And actually it was around that time when I got a little one of those old style little handheld cassette players, recorders.
Yeah.
And that was actually the first album I recorded on a cassette. Like put the cassette recorder in front of the stereo speaker and put the album on and hit record and had a cassette on it of it.
Very cool. How about the BOC?
Around the time of the second album. Yeah, well, actually, it was after Gary saw Blue Oyster Cult with Mott the Hoople and Aerosmith.
Wow.
So he
the infamous Massey Hall show.
Yeah, after that, he went and bought the albums, and that was it. Hooked ever since.
Years later, members of these two camps would combine to form a band which they're in today called Blue Coupe, and we had the opportunity a couple of years ago to host a New Year's Eve show, and they were nice enough to want to record a song that they had never actually played before, like live, or at least had it ready to be performed live, and they invited Gord Lewis to be part of it on the second guitar as well. And in 2012 at New Year's Eve, they performed and actually recorded it. Ian Nielsen, who's also one of our sound techs at the St. Hollywood. We're supposed to say hi to Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carl. How you doing?
Our bartender. Hi, Carl. And condolences to your grandmother passing away as well just recently. But going back to New Year's Eve, these guys decided that what they were going to do was record a song called More Cowbell, which is really a poking fun sort of song at the skit, which is poking fun at Blue Oyster Cult for their cowbells in Don't Fear the Reaper. So it's just kind of funny how it went sort of full circle all around. But I remember Albert Bouchard telling me that when he was teaching music to his students, more people would be in awe of him, realizing that it was his band that was the subject of the More Cowbell skit, as opposed to the actual band themselves. So, folks, from a million miles away, we're going to spend some music from Blue Coupe. You can see them Saturday night with us, Tung Fu. We're going to play some music from us a little later. But, folks, seriously, do not miss this power trio. One of the greatest bands that I have seen in a very, very long time. Some of the nicest men, and part of rock royalty that we're all very proud of. So enjoy. This is Blue Coupe on 93.3 CFMU.
You got a fever!
93.3 CFMU. Music of Blue Coupe from Million Miles More Cowbell. We'll send that out to the Bouchard brothers and Dennis Dunaway. We're looking forward to hanging out with them this weekend. 3:31 and change. Rob Sweeney sitting in with Manolis and I, talking about good old rock and roll. And it's always amazing when you see younger bands that, carry the torch and they really do it well. As I was saying at the beginning, one of the bands that Rob Sweeney introduced us to, I believe, via an MP3 of the week was a song from the Stripes. Or maybe you made reference to them in an MP3.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I know we have a lot of them.
Do you enjoy the new bands that are coming up just as much as the old school bands?
If they're good.
Do you want to? You don't want to answer that?
That was a question for me. I just find there's not so many good new bands. Like, you really have to filter through a lot of bands. But everything's open up. There's so many genres of music, but even in what they might figure as rock and roll, like it's hard for me to find something that pleases me,
right?
New wise. But there is some good stuff. I could have to, maybe on the next, think of some bands that are new.
I always make reference to this band a lot.
Yeah.
When people
great. Like they are, a refreshing blast of rock and roll. Like, definitely a shoot back to the old R&B of the the 50s and their early Rolling Stones type thing, and definitely Dr. Feelgood influenced, and that pub rock kind of stuff. And it's great that the kids are taking it in, and really digging it.
Yeah, totally.
Especially the girls.
But do you like the Dirty Nil? Have you heard them?
Yeah, they're good. It's a Toronto band, right?
Hamilton, actually.
Hamilton, yeah, that's right, yeah.
They do a lot of work in Toronto, and I know pretty soon they're heading off to do a bunch of work in the States.
Is it the Young Rivals or the Rivals? Or
Young Rival.
Young Rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singular. Young Rival.
Young Rival.
They couldn't afford the S yet.
They're really good.
Yeah. Talking about pub rock, you introduced me to the Count Bishops many years ago.
Another great band, yep.
And Zenon DeFleur.
Mm-hmm.
Was he like the leader of the band, or just kind of like the guitar player that was always recognized for his ability?
I don't know really who would have been the head cheese in that band. There was also Johnny Guitar play guitar, right?
Right.
And, was that was the singer's name?
Manolis always has it so dark in here that we can't really read
I like it dark, dude.
I know. Mike Spencer.
Yeah. Count Bishop said they had that 10-inch live record that was really great, kick-ass thing, and
don't say kick.
Yeah,
it's a violent word.
But they had some great singles, and that's a great compilation you have there.
Yeah,
and definitely worth picking up for people into that style of looking for that style of old R&B rock and roll. Very Dr. Feelgoodish again.
Yeah. What do you think inspires a band like the Stripes to play this kind of music? Do you think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they just, take it upon themselves to learn about it? Do you think it's kind of brought down from maybe cool parents that just listen?
I think a couple of them have parents that have, they said they accessed some of the old, like Dr. Feelgood albums from their parents' collections, and that's just it. Like,
is it easy for you to hear when you listen to a CD like this one? It's like, you can hear the influences right away.
Oh yeah. Because even some of their cover songs are cover songs that Dr. Feelgood did, and when you see them live, they did a song that Lou Lewis wrote for Dr. Feelgood, Lucky 7.
Right.
They did a version of Lucky 7 that was great. So right there, they're letting you know, hey, we like Dr. Feelgood a lot.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's excellent.
You were kind enough to give me a copy of Oil City Confidential, which is a fantastic movie directed by Julian Temple about Dr. Feelgood, really kind of focusing on Wilco Johnson as the main character, being the main spokesperson of a band that really, when you really look at it in perspective, it's always funny how you really recognize how influential, even though we know how influential a band is based on their music, but when it's documented through a movie and you hear other people talking about it, then it all seems to fit in place nicely, chronologically, and then you really realize how powerful a band like Dr. Feelgood was, in that scene that really kind of stemmed the whole punk scene really stemmed out of it, a major part of it.
Yeah. Definitely, for sure. Like even Clem Burke from Blondie's story where he went to England
and brought a record back.
Came back with the Malpractice album, took it to a party in New York City, and it was the only record they played all night. and then punk rock was born.
You got it. So this is what we're going to do. We'll pay homage to some new and classic pub rock. We'll spin some music from the Count Bishops as well as Dr. Feelgood, but we'll start it off with the Stripes from Snapshot, a song requested from Rob Sweeney, a song called Blue Collar Jane. Folks, you are listening to 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU, music there from the Dr. Feelgood, sorry, and you heard a song called She Does It Right from a compilation called Singles. Before that, from Speedball Plus 11, the Count Bishops covering Route 66, and you heard today's version of pub rock, the Stripes from England, from their Snapshot record, and Blue Collar Jane. 3:46 and change, Manolis sitting in, or sorry, Rob Sweeney sitting in with Manolis and I, talking about good old rock and roll. And you see, this is a sort of a learning experience for you too, right, Manolis?
Totally.
Yeah.
I like listening to him talk about what you're saying about the no pick and pick.
Yeah, well, the way Wilco Johnson's style of guitar playing, he doesn't use a guitar pick. It's got all his fingers flying across all the strings, and very choppy. It almost sounds like two guys playing guitar, but it's just him like hammering at everything.
And like, and were you saying, what's his name? Who else doesn't use a pick? You're like saying.
Oh, well, a guy that used to use a pick for a long time was Jeff Beck, and these days he doesn't use a pick
at all.
No.
And is it harder on your fingers to use a pick or not use a pick?
I guess you're going to get used to it. Depends on what style you're playing or whatever, right?
Right.
Did you ever try to emulate someone's style? Because you're a straight-ahead rock and roll guitar player, but I know there's a plethora of different guitar players that have influenced you, but in terms of actually the way you play, was there a specific guitar player? Who's some of my favorites? I used to play along with Ross the Boss a lot. Right.
Ross the Boss, yeah.
You had him in your car, sitting right where Rob Sweeney was sitting.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
Johnny Winter.
Yeah, Johnny
Sit
Winter.
in my car, too.
Sat in your car, too, yeah.
When I was...
if they sat in Manolis' car, they've influenced Rob.
Yeah, okay, that's good. And I've sat in the car now, too.
Yeah, you've influenced... Okay, but you're saying Ross the Boss.
Years back, or even still now, I don't mind playing along with the record, but back when I used to play guitar, practicing or whatever, a good album to play along with would be a Jeff Beck Truth album.
Right.
And, I remember playing, putting on a Chicken Shack album, putting some Stan Webb stuff, or Johnny Winter for sure, and Ross the Boss, and even, you want to learn how to play some rhythm guitar, you got to play along with the Ramones, right?
Right.
So all kinds of styles. Again, like that stuff, Wilco Johnson, Dr. Feelgood, everything's just...
Yeah, watching the documentary, Wilco Johnson was talking about how he had that splash on his guitar that was red. Mm-hmm. So when he started bleeding because of the way he was playing, you really couldn't see the blood.
Yeah, because you get the blisters on his fingers and pop. Nice and gooey on the strings there.
You recently posted a song from Hines, who was part of the Tornadoes, and in Oil City Confidential, you get to see a really young Wilco Johnson sitting in with Hines, playing backing him up. Do you know the whole story about how that happened? Because I know Wilco just talked about it very, very briefly, but he didn't really get into it a lot, so I wasn't entirely sure what the storyline was there.
I don't really know the story myself. I guess Hines just needed a backup band, and Wilco was around. But on that song that I know you're talking about there, Just Like Eddie.
Just Like Eddie, right.
Yeah, the tribute to Eddie Cochran. That's Ricky Blackmore playing guitar on that song.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
One of Joe Meek's boys for the, back in the studio. Well, Richie Blackmore did a lot of stuff for Joe Meek in the studio, right?
Mm-hmm. Richie Blackmore was primarily a studio guitar player, as Page was as well. Yep. Have you seen the documentary, Telstar?
Meek? Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It was very interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. Now, did you see, if you YouTube Joe Meek, you'll see a documentary featuring his two brothers. Have you seen that?
Not I haven't seen that one.
It's actually it's pretty weird because there's just something unusual about their behavior. Like it looks like they're almost kind of partially shy as they're being asked a question. You know how sometimes when you ask children a question, like they look at one end and look at the other side and then they answer their question.
Like you're
right?
looking at Manolis tonight.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same giddiness. And they were talking. The guy who was narrating this little documentary asked the two brothers. He was like, "Well, did Joe like to cook? Did Joe like to eat? And what kind of foods did he like?" And one of the brothers, and it's only kind of funny knowing Joe Meek for who he was. One of the brothers looked at the other brother and he said, "He always fancied sausages." Seriously.
We all do.
Which I thought was like just kind of a weird thing. Rob Sweeney, you are a fan of Hawkwind, and I think one of the coolest things I've ever heard about making reference to Hawkwind, or their just their existence and who they are. They're the Ramones of space rock. It's like a great line.
I'm glad you like that.
Yeah, it is, and it's perfectly fitting. A band that really, what amazes me, and just kind of making reference to the Facebook culture, and seeing guys like Greg Prevost posting songs from Hawkwind. Just recently, he put up a Red Crayola song too, which I thought was kind of cool. But it's one of those bands that just everybody that's really into music really loves. Mm-hmm. There's just something that's really unique about them. But they kind of cross genres. Like if you're a guy that listens to garage rock, you'll love Hawkwind. If you're a guy that is into metal, then you like Hawkwind. There's just something
psychedelic.
Psychedelic.
Yeah. Everything's there.
Have you ever seen them, Rob?
Yeah, saw them a couple of times. First time was at Convocation Hall.
Oh, you went to that show too, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Lemmy playing bass, and saw them again at Massey Hall. It was the night that when Lemmy got fired from the band, so to say, because he was held up at the border.
Now, was Stacia part of the show?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dancing around. She
was a big, tall lady that would always paint her body and dance to all this sort of real space rock stuff.
Did she like sausages too?
She likes space rock sausages. Smarty pants. But you're paying attention. That's good. That was a good question.
I always look like I'm not, but I am always listening.
You're still thinking about the sausage. What's that?
He's all ears today.
My ears are always open, just like everything else on my body.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty profound. You're lucky to have caught those two shows at two really wild venues. Convocation Hall at U of T as well as Massey Hall. Was there a preferred one of the two? Well, I guess because you got to see Lemmy.
Yeah, I would say the first one, being so, because so blown away from the show because these had the big screen behind them, like with all the, the crazy psychedelic images and lights. And
was Calvert with them too then?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Lemmy was in another band before he was in Motorhead, you're saying?
He was in a few bands before.
He was in Hawkwind, and before that, it was back in the 60s, he was in a band, was it the Victors?
Yes.
Yeah, and very, what you like, Dr. Feelgood stuff, very, a lot of those bands were all very R&B-ish, and
so
and then just recently I found out my business partner and friend, Glenn the Hamilton Kid, turned me on to a Sam Gopal album, and Lemmy sang on that and played guitar. In 1969.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even these days, like Lemmy does, he's not just the rock stuff, but he does like stuff with Slim Jim Phantom.
Yeah. And
then they do Earl Slick or something, like those three guys, like kind of like a rockabilly, older style rock and roll, like a throwback to that, because that's what Lemmy's really likes. Like he
loves Buddy Holly.
He loves that old, like that Dr. Feelgood stuff there. That's him.
Rockabilly kind of stuff.
Yeah. R&B.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
Like him do an album, maybe.
I'm going to see if I can pull up some music from the Victors.
Rockin' Vickers, right?
The Rockin' Vickers. Yeah, that's what it is.
What's his name that did all the Johnny Cash albums at the end? What was that guy's name? The producer?
Rick Rubin?
Yeah, Rick Rubin. I'd love to see Rick Rubin work with him. Has he ever worked with him?
I don't
That'd be a
think
good
with who? Lemmy?
Lemmy. I would like
I'm not entirely sure.
That'd be great.
Good question.
But the Lemmy documentary's worth watching, too.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lemmy documentary is great.
Like Lemmy and Manolis, you got to see the documentary.
I saw like a snippet of it on Much Music once, I think, and I was like, wow, this has looked really good. I probably could find the whole
A
thing.
regular at the Bistro, or no, the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rainbow in on Sunset?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I've been there.
Have you?
Yeah, I saw what's his name there one night when I was there with Jay, but who's the porn star? Ron Jeremy was there. Yeah.
Is that why you went?
No, not to see him. I can't. He's a disgusting looking man to me.
Ron Jeremy? That's funny. Rob Sweeney released a record called I Dig Chicks a few years ago, and you were kind enough to give us a copy. We're going to spin your rendition of Ejection from actually, it's not officially a Hawkwind song.
No.
It's a Robert Calvert song that had two monikers, right? The first one was Captain Lougheed.
Captain Lockheed and the Starfighters.
Right, and then the second was Lucky Leaf.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting, and the snippets in between and the spoken word parts are just hilarious too.
That's a classic album.
Really funny. We're going to hear Rob Sweeney covering Ejection from Captain Lougheed. I was going to initially say Captain Highliner. Seriously.
And the Starfish.
Captain
I'd like to hear him do a song too.
That'd be funny. Enjoy, folks. Here's Rob Sweeney on 93.3 CFMU. .93.3 CFMU, music from Rob Sweeney from I Dig Chicks, and you heard Ejection. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take care of my business here, and I didn't even enter that, Rob, so I've got to do this, so you get the credit for it. Rob Sweeney and EY.
You know what song I like, Rob? A lot? Yeah.
What's that?
You ever listen to that song by Alice Cooper? It's off the School's Out album. Is it Public Animal?
Oh, yeah. Number 9. Yeah.
That's one of those songs. Awesome. Such a great song. You never hear on the radio anywhere. Yeah. I don't, anyways. I always, when I hear that song, I'm thinking, when's a band going to be smart enough to cover
We play it here on this radio station.
What's that?
We play it on this radio show.
Yeah.
But like, I always think there should be like, I can't believe there isn't a band out there that doesn't want to cover it,
or at least bands that you might be listening to don't cover it. I'm pretty sure
it goes like that.
Yeah.
Like I always think like even like that'd be a crazy loop to do. Like just
who do you envision doing a good version of that if you were to think of a band?
Well, what I really would like to hear, believe it or not, I would like to hear like a really good like rap band. Like a rap artist, and like to loop that hey part and put a sick beat through it, you know what I'm talking about?
Are you going to ask Dennis that on Saturday?
No.
When you see him? Hey?
But as a
Are you going to do merch for us bands?
I think so.
Oh, terrific. Great.
I think so.
You can just say, yeah, I know.
What band though? What band?
For Blue Coop and us.
No, but what band do you think would be great to cover?
Well, I'm asking you because this is your idea, your concept.
I don't. I can't think of a.
Come on, think.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like a newer band, right? A newish band.
Okay.
Let me think about it. Play a song, I'll think about it.
How about we do the MP3 of the week?
Okay.
All right.
That time already.
So it's that time of the day already. The gentleman that sits next to me today gives us these great songs that we enjoy playing every Wednesday. Today, Rob Sweeney writes, as I get my information up here, he says, "Hello, Lou. Golden Earring are one of the oldest surviving bands on the planet, best known, of course, for Radar Love. In 1995, they released Love Sweat, featuring a collection of cover tunes, kind of like David Bowie's Pinups. So here they are with a great cover of Chris Spedding's Motor Biking. amazing because it's such a great song. And like I said, I do remember somebody telling me that Golden Earring covered Chris Spedding, and I never really followed up on it until you sent me the song. But I do remember, that that Golden Earring did cover a really, really sort of cool song. Billy Idol did as well. Covered motorbiking.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Yeah. But this is actually a really great version.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those bands I think that always kind of get lumped on the fact that they had that big hit, and that's what a lot of people seem to recognize the band for. Just a couple of those hits, the Radar Love and then the Twilight Zone, which was a popular hit of theirs in the 80s. Do you remember that song, Manolis? No.
And Golden Earring is another band that's been around since 64 or 65, and they've got 40 albums out, and it's still the original lineup.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They released an album a couple of years back that's even a really good record. I don't know if I can actually say it.
TNA.
Yeah, TNA, that's it. But
now you get Manolis' attention.
The early albums, Golden Earring, one time sounded like the Beatles, and then came the 70s and got more progressive and heavier and rockier, and then they had the hit with Radar Love. But they got some really classic albums. Yeah,
I remember.
Good ones.
Yeah, I remember as a teen at Star Records buying the live album that they had, and I thought that live album was really good. Did you ever see Golden Earring?
No,
I haven't seen them.
I can never recall them even coming to Toronto. I'm not sure they've ever been here.
They're not together now, are they?
Yeah, they still are.
They still tour now?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go now?
The time is now.
Yeah.
Folks, this is your MP3 of the week, courtesy of Rob Sweeney here on 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU, the music there of Golden Earring covering a classic from Chris Spedding, motorbiking. Folks, that is the MP3 of the week, courtesy of the gentleman that's sitting right of me, Mr. Rob Sweeney. Chris Maswick sent us a care package, and we were happy to see that there was also some music that he gave us, as well as some other. And we can't say because Dave Ellie might be hearing, so we're not going to reveal the secret. But Chris Maswick, that was your undertaking, getting Chris Maswick from Radio Birdman out here in Canada, which is his native land. You formed a band to back him up, and those shows were great, and it was just so fantastic just hanging out with him.
Yeah.
Like a real gentleman, but just a real rock and roll crusader again. Just we're talking about guitar players. Like, he's another guy who's just really got this.
Radio Birdman with Dennis Tech and Chris Maswick. There you go. There's more. Another must play along with record if you're a guitar guy.
Right.
Yeah. For sure. Aloha Stephen Dano and all the
when
rest
you see
of it.
someone like on concert, do you just keep your eyes on the guitar mostly, or
not really. Watching the band. A lot of times, actually, I find myself watching a drummer of a
band.
Yeah,
why is that?
It's just, I don't know. Sometimes I just.
He's got a lot of pots and pans at home.
Yeah. I don't know.
You zone out and zone in, and just keep your eyes on the beat.
Yeah, and just you see bands and you're kind of watching everything, but some drummers are great to watch, and like the Bill Milheiser from the Fleshtones,
amazing,
great to watch him, and
he makes it look so easy.
Steve Wynn's wife, Linda Pittman,
yeah, and
she's awesome drummer. You got to see her live, like it's just like
Clem Burke,
awesome, great, yeah,
another one.
But yeah, guitar players, for sure.
410. Actually, you know what? We were fortunate to find some music from the Rockin' Vickers featuring Lemmy.
You want to hear that?
This would be. Oh no, we don't have them. I thought we did, but we didn't. Hold on, we're going to try to get them or get it. Let's see if we can.
You know what band I wanted to cover that song now? I realized it. The Public Animal, number 9.
Who?
It'd be like, I'd like to hear the Red Hot Chili Peppers do it.
Well, there you go.
There you go. And that way, they would also do it in their way.
When you
Here we go. The Ghost Inside the Machine, eh? What the hell? Maybe it just needs a little wipe. Who knows? You heard some of Chris Maswick's
I've said that many times.
Last weekend. What's that? You just need a little wipe?
Just needs a little wipe. Yeah. And everything will be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned from the best, Manolis.
What got on there? That's the real question.
Well, I guess Lou was excited to get the new Chris Maslow.
Yeah, a little bit of Lou.
This is all your fault, Lou.
Well, you know what? It should be my fault.
Are you going to try again?
No. We're going to move on. We're going to see if we can correct this and play it properly next week. You heard, like I said, a portion of a Chris Maswick song called Another Lost Weekend. But we are talking about Chris Maswick of Radio Birdman fame, and one of the... To me, I thought when Zeno Beach came out, that to me was a paramount record because, again, I just thought, you know, in comparison to what they had done with Radios Appear and earlier, and then to hear this, it just sounded like a band that definitely matured in so many ways. But the ferocity of the Zeno Beach was something that really appealed to me. There's just something that has always left an everlasting impression about their music and the way that they play it. But it's Rob Younger's lyrics. He's like a real, just a really unique type of person when it comes to words. And, I remember when, I asked Chris Maswick about, the lyrics to, We've Come So Far to Be Here Today. And Chris was like, I don't know. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
That's not my job.
Yeah.
My job's to be a great guitar player.
Would you say a lot of singers, though, people that write their songs are usually like, I don't know what I was thinking, dude?
I don't know. I maybe they say that just to kind of hide the truth,
or not get into it,
or maybe not get into it.
Yeah,
you know, for sure. But this song is something that I feel that like I really kind of wanted to adopt it for us.
Are we going to play the whole song?
We'll see what we can do. But like, you know, there's a lot of, to me, there's a lot of meaning in, this, Radio Birdman song that as I said, you know, I make a lot of reference to the Tung Fu, but, We Have Come So Far Today is just one of those songs that really puts a lot of perspective, in people's, you know, loyalty, admiration, as well as their dedication to rock and roll.
And Tung Fu played the song live a few times.
We have played it a few times. Briscoe said that we should learn it or rehearse it tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So here's our chance to to learn it again.
Guitar in.
Yeah, I know. That was your initial ideas to bring the guitar in, folks. If you don't have this particular record by Radio Birdman called Zeno Beach, you really have to get it into your collection. Go to your favorite record store and order it. It's honestly one of the most amazing pieces of music that I heard in the last 10 years, and I would highly recommend anything from Radio Birdman or anything from any Radio Birdman personnel. That would include Dennis Tech records, as well as Chris Maswick, and of course Rob Younger's New Christ. I just got Gloria. I haven't heard it yet, but I just got the record.
And I just got the new album Incantations.
Oh, wow, man.
Which the vinyl copy comes with a card for a download.
Very cool. That's what they did with the live album too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You went to see Radio Birdman at Lee's Palace a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Or when I missed that show. I had to work, and both Dave Ellie and I were just kicking ourselves for missing it. But they started the show with Hot Rails to Hell.
No,
I believe
I think that was the first encore, actually.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I remember Amont's, may he rest in peace, the following day, said, that Radio Birdman played Hot Rails to Hell. Yeah, I was like, but those guys are big BOC fans anyways.
Oh, for sure. And it shows in their music.
It sure does. Folks, this is Radio Birdman on 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU music there from us. The Tung Fu, Scorned and Adored, and before that you heard Shut Up Head. We're celebrating our record release party this Saturday, which also happens to be the Big 5-0 for me, which is kind of weird when you put age to attitude. I've known you for a big portion of my life, and you're still the same guy, Rob. You really are, and I think that's admirable. But there's something about, I think, music that always keeps you focused into being young-minded and young-hearted. I don't know what it is. We gray, we lose our hair, we get older, but there's something about
rock and roll keeps us young at heart.
It does. It really does, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And then when you look at people that,
look at Dick Clark.
Yeah.
You ever heard David Lee Roth? He said one time, he goes, David Lee Roth goes in an interview, he says, I've been hearing about adults all my life. I haven't met one yet.
Who said that?
David Lee Roth.
Oh, yeah.
I've been hearing about adults all my life. I haven't met one yet.
That's funny.
I don't think, I think age is what it is, but I mean, you can have an interesting conversation with an 80-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
If anything, they were around when there was no internet.
Well, I was just going to say, when you look at people like Keith Richards and you think, or even when I went to see Ian Hunter a couple of years ago and he was 71 or 72 and you think, wow, this guy is 9 years younger than my dad when I went to see him, and just the difference of lifestyle and look and image and everything that goes along with it. Obviously it really does something to your spirit. I think, numerically it's just a numerical figure, kind of puts perspective to how long you've actually lived and experienced, but otherwise 16 forever, right?
That's right.
Well, I think it takes a long time to realize that none of it matters.
What do you mean?
When you're young, you think everything matters, like whether it's age or trying to be cool, but the older you get, the more you realize it's none of it matters. It's just having fun, being just doing what you want to do, and not age. Age mattered more when you were younger, I think. Like you're saying.
Well, yeah, because you had to be 19 to get into the bars. You had to be whatever to smoke and to buy beer and that kind of stuff. So I think or in order to get your 365, you had to be a certain age. So there was always requirements that involved age. But now, where there's really no requirements for us to do anything because we're old enough to do anything except go to high school dances, which I'm trying to stop you from doing, Manolis.
Well, I like to date younger people just because.
Yeah, why is that? Is it just because it's a way?
Because I think it's just fair. I don't want to discriminate because I don't want if this girl's 21 years old, I can't go out with her because she's 21. That's mean. That's
right. So you're basically giving her an opportunity.
Well, she's giving you the opportunity, I think.
Yeah. But that's what keeps you motivated and young, right?
I think so. I don't know. I think it's just, I'm just happy to be here, dude. That's about it.
Do you think you would ever, settle for someone that would be in around your age group? I know we kid around a lot about this, but do you ever think that it would be, something that you could, really put into perspective and say, you know what, maybe someone my age would be a good idea?
Yeah, maybe when I'm 70, 75, 80, 95.
When it's over and done and you have nothing left to give, right?
When I'm maybe that last 5 minutes before I die.
Yeah.
Then?
Yeah. Can I just spend my last 5 minutes with you?
Yeah.
That's funny. Blue Coop is going to be there Saturday night as well, and I can't help it, and I always I feel that I'm very redundant with this, but I still love the story of you trying to tell Alice Cooper tell Dennis Dunaway about your Alice Cooper collage. And the most amazing thing is as Manolis is showing Dennis, he's pointing out to these pictures saying, this is from the Killers record, this is from School's Out, this is...
I think so overwhelmed by just his talking to him that I just completely forgot that he knew everything. You know what I mean? I'm just an idiot. But this album is School's Out album from.
Yeah, he was probably very happy that you reminded him.
Yeah.
You know what was awesome about him? Because he did he was so kind. I brought all my albums and he signed them all. But some of them I had 3 copies of the same album. Because every time I see an old because the old Alice Cooper albums, they had their really unique. Someone had they all had the fold out stuff.
Yeah. All the Killer album with the calendar. Ripped that off, or the School's Out with the fold out desk and of course the panties that came with it.
Yeah,
$1 billion.
Yeah, the original album came with a pair of panties.
I never seen the panties.
No,
I didn't know they came with panties.
Check the Google image on.
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought I had everything.
I used to have round speakers, and I put mine on the round speaker.
Oh, cool! You still have those panties, eh?
Well, I don't know where
somewhere.
So, my buddy
used to wear them as a hat.
It was Killers. I had 2 or 3 Killers, right? Album. He signed all 3, and my
same name.
Yeah, Signed the same name 3 times. He signed all my albums. Like that's what I mean. Like he didn't just sign. Like he didn't go, oh, you have 3. I got sell all 3 Killer albums. Can I just sign
Dennis?
No, he didn't do that. He just signed everything.
Are you talking about Dennis Dunaway?
Yes, Dennis Dunaway.
All right.
Yeah, you guys are jerks right now.
Yeah, no.
It's a great story, but you just want
I am interested in this story. Obviously, I brought up, but so yeah, no, it was really nice of you.
I gave one of the copies of my Killer albums to this guy, Terry Clements. He's a good friend of mine, but he's a huge Alice Cooper's fan. And I was working with him one weekend, and I'm like, here, I got something for you. And I gave him the Killers album signed by Dennis Dunaway, and he just, he lost his mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I love that's the awesome when you can give someone a gift that they can't get. You know?
Right.
He was in no way he was going to get his hands on that album signed by Dennis Dunaway. I'm like, here you go, dude.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, man, you're the best.
Lo and behold, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. The cool thing about a lot of their covers is that it made you really want to get the record, because it was just like, obviously when we're younger, we're more impressionable, and it was just, as you said, telling your friends about this record that you bought and showing it to them, and just the fact that it was unique. The magic is actually what's on the vinyl.
Oh, yes.
There was no other band like the Alice Cooper group.
To boot, like the albums are amazing. Like, like visually it was just incredible, like just getting that, but to boot, the albums are amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably one of the most unique sounding bands, and just the fact that they really had their own sound, but they crossed over into a bit of the glam, a bit of the rock, and a bit of the dark macabre, just all sorts of different things that they were doing. But it's really interesting just seeing the crowd. Like, there's always the goth guys and girls that really like Alice, and people that are right into rock and roll. Another band that seems to cross genres really nicely and have all sorts of major respect because of their music. Yeah. What else did you want to say about the collage? Oh, I went into Cooperstown.
What I was really happy about with the collage is that the story, it's in Cooptown on the wall apparently, which I've never seen. I've never been there, but I know that
in Alice's restaurant.
So I love the fact that this thing that I made, because I was trying to get him to see it for like 3 years in a row, and the 3rd year I tried to get him to see it, like, because he came to Hamilton Place. I just asked the daughter. Someone said, "Oh, that's his daughter smoking right there." So I said, "Hey, could you show this?"
Or did they say that's a smoking daughter?
I think it was both. It was smoking. That's Alice Cooper's smoking daughter, and she's smoking. So it was like that's why I was confused at first.
Pretty lady.
She's cute.
Yeah,
she's cute. I remember her being cute. I don't know. I was more like it's the first time I ever.
Could you see him being your potential father-in-law?
Well, it was the first time in my life I looked at a woman and it wasn't about her. Yeah, it was the first time I was like, usually when I look at a woman, my agenda has to do with more her.
Right.
Like, I was like looking at her, I was like, I need to get to your dad.
That's so funny.
Right?
Yeah.
So I had it in my hands. I'm like, you think you get your dad to look at this and sign it for me? That's my original plan, was just to get him to sign it. Right? And just him have maybe a moment and go, oh, this is pretty cool, dude. But then she said she couldn't do that for me. And I was like, my 3rd time trying to get it to him somehow, like just going behind Hamilton Place and talking to roadies and stuff. And I just had that moment and we're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm like, in my head, I was like, can you do me another favor then? It's like, what? If I give this to you, can you give it to your dad? And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. It's like, okay. And she took it off my hands and put it in the tour bus, and that was it.
Wow.
And I was like,
years later, though.
Oh yeah. Then a year later, Alice Cooper was in Hamilton Place again. So I went early because I was doing a gig that night.
And you had a media pass.
No. I had no. I just went behind Hamilton Place. I went in early, so I just walked in. And I was trying to walk in, and this guy stops me because some security roadie guy, whatever, for Alice Cooper. He goes, "Can I help you?" Like this, all like, you know how they are, right? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. Do you work for Alice Cooper? I said, it's like, yeah, I'm the roadie for. He said, 15 years. I think he said to me, 15 years. He had to tell me that.
You already knew.
Yeah, I felt it, and I go, perfect. I look at him, I go, perfect. Now listen. Yeah, last year I gave Alice Cooper's daughter a collage to give to him. I'm just kind of curious. I'm about to say, I'm kind of curious if he saw it or something.
I'm just following up to make sure that you gave it to him.
Whatever.
Yeah. Or sell it on eBay.
I go, before I can finish, he goes like this, what? You made that? I go, yeah. It's like, that thing was amazing. And I'm like, no way. He's like, yeah. And he's like, he said that everybody looked at it on the tour bus, that Alice Cooper put it on his wall in Phoenix, Arizona at Cooptown. So
awesome.
Yeah. So that's how I kind of found out, like, through a roadie. So
great.
Yeah.
And then
a year later, yeah, I didn't know if you want the whole story.
No, because the ending is the best.
The ending is the best because Alice Cooper goes to a comic book convention in Toronto, and I saw it by chance on a flyer, and it's like, so they was doing autograph signings, $25 a signing. So before I got him signing my comic book, Alice Cooper comic book from the Inside album,
yeah,
the comic book. So as I was trying to find where he was signing, I wanted to say hi. He was taking a break from his signing because he's doing a bunch of signings through the day, and I walked into him. I almost bumped into him by mistake, like just by luck. And I look at him, I'm like about to say sorry, I'm like, it's Alice Cooper standing right in front of me, and I go, Mr. Cooper. I don't know why I say Mr. Cooper. I go, Mr. Cooper. He looks at me, I go, it's Manolis. And he looks at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, he's supposed to know who I am. I'm like, I'm the guy. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the guy that made the collage. Gave it to your daughter, gave it to you in Hamilton Place about 2 years ago, blah, blah, blah. And he goes like this. He goes, oh yeah. And then he walks away from me. That's all he says. Oh yeah. And he leaves. Leaves me standing there like a moron. I've been listening to this guy since I was like, I'm like, you know what I mean? I've been listening to this guy since I was like 17 years old, you know? Bought every album. I'm like, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was livid, and I was about to leave. And then my buddy goes, I run into my buddy Doug Nagy, and he goes, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going home. Alice Cooper just pissed me off. like
snubbed you.
Funny. He snubbed me, but I was like literally like saying like, cause he actually did piss me off. I'm like, I'm kind of, and he like, oh, that's actually who we're going to see right now. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, he's doing a thing where he just talks to like, it's not a show. He just
like a press conference.
He just talks to the audience, and people ask questions and blah, blah, blah. It's like $200 to get in. And he was lined up to go. And I'm like, it just at that moment, it started going, and I'm like standing with him, and they were pulling tickets and stuff. And I just walked in with them, pretended I was like, already had a ticket. I just walked in.
Yeah.
And now I'm in.
Cool.
Right.
And I'm sitting with Doug Nagy, and then Alice Cooper says a few words, and this girl says, at this point, we'd like to take questions from the audience. They have a mic. Right in the middle of the two rows. They have a mic for the audience. So there's a lineup. So I just got lined up right away, and at first I'm thinking what to ask, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll ask him about Frank Zappa or something like that. And then as I'm getting closer, it's like I was like fourth in line. And like as I'm getting closer, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask him about the collage. Screw this guy.
I know, you can't let it go.
Screw this guy, right? Because then I go like this, and I go, and this is the best part. This part I'm about to tell you is on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Because I had my video camera, and I flicked it on, and I had a
doing
point.
A selfie.
Yeah, I had to point it right at him on stage while I asked him the question. If you look carefully, you can see it in his eyes as I come to the mic. He's like, but he's like a little bit like, oh, this guy, it's the collage guy. And he goes like this, and he goes, it's my turn. I go, and I say like this, I go, hello, Mr. Cooper. My name is Manolis Zontanos, and about 10 years ago or so, I made a collage of your career, and I gave it to you, your daughter, to give to you in Hamilton Place. I go like this, I think you know what I'm talking about. My question to you is, what did you think of the collage? So I asked him a question that has everything
Wouldn't
to do
have been funny if we just said, yeah. Next question.
So I asked him a question that has to deal with me, not even him. I was like, I wanted to know, what do you think of it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And he acknowledged it, and he told me on his bar and everything. This is the best part, because he's like, oh yeah, we got it. We saw it in tour bus, and I put it up. I got a thing like that, another thing, and blah, blah, blah. We put everything in my bar. But he didn't say whether he liked it or not. He still wouldn't answer the question.
He wanted you to give him the $25.
Yeah, he knows you didn't pay for a ticket, you son of a bitch. That's what it was.
So, yeah.
But that's a great connection to have to a guy like Alice Cooper, like an internationally renowned sort of rock and roll personality.
I was getting, what was that other band that you had at your bar? The band that had the documentary you played at your bar? Anvil.
Right.
Anvil. I got a backstage interview Anvil with my buddy one time, and we're interviewing, but they were opening up for Alice Cooper. So Alice Cooper was doing meet and greet, like he was like 20 feet away from me now. This is like after all this, and I'm like, and I swear to God, because I just didn't want to screw up my interview with Anvil, right? So I had a cap on, and I'm like pulling it low and kind of trying to hide my face because I was afraid he might go, "Hey, who's that guy over there?" like I'm like,
It's the collage guy.
is that the
That guy went to collage.
I like spent so many years trying to get to him. Now I see him, I'm avoiding him because I figured he'll kick me out of the.
Yeah. See what you've caused?
Yeah. Well, I would still like to have a sit down with him. I still like to. I'd like to put it out and open. I'd like to ask him if he does like it or not.
An invitation.
Next time you see him, just call him Vincent.
Yeah, maybe that'll
Mr.
work.
Vernier, right?
Yeah.
Vincent Vernier. Was it Vincent Vernier or
Fernier?
Vernier.
Well, I think we pronounce it French because we're Canadian, but I think the Americans pronounce it Fernier.
He'll always be Mr. Cooper to me.
Yeah.
Of course. So we've been told. 4:46. We're going to spin one more song from Tung Fu. This one features a great guitar solo from Rob Sweeney, and you have to hear it.
I'm ready.
Okay?
I'm ready.
This is New Year's Eve in Old Time Square on 93.3 CFMU. 4:49 and change. New Year's Eve at Old Time Square. That's our music. Tung Fu. You can see us Saturday night. We're celebrating our CD release party. We're going on stage around 10:30, and then Blue Coupe takes over. So please join us. You can still get advance tickets at Cheapies Dr. Disc at the St. Hollywood as well as the sthollywood.ca. A person who is definitely influential in the world of Alice Cooper is Frank Zappa. And Dennis Dunaway has been kind just sharing some stories about Frank Zappa with us during his visits. But I guess when these guys went to California, I guess that's when they were introduced to Frank, and then Frank put it. Did Frank produce the first Zappa record for Alice Cooper, Pretty's for You, or was it on his label? On the label, there was definitely a connection there for sure. But I've got a DVD about the Mothers, and there is a mention of Alice Cooper in this DVD. But then I guess the infamous story about the chicken. And I guess in the DVD something referring to the Mother's DVD, Frank saying to Alice Cooper, "Whatever you did, don't stop doing it. Continue doing it," because it was kind of.
But is that when he said Alice Cooper said that he didn't know the chickens couldn't fly? Is that what he said?
I think so.
Yeah, like somehow a chicken got on stage. Mm-hmm. So he just threw the chicken into the audience, thinking the thing would just fly away. Right. And then the audience destroyed the chicken. Yeah. He didn't. The audience tore it to pieces. Right. Which is weird. I guess not weird, but I guess, I don't know. That's an interesting situation.
Remember when you threw that kid and you thought kids could fly?
I tried to pull a cat once through a fence when I was like 5.
I don't even want to hear it.
No, for a minute. His cat was the tail was like I always saw in Bugs Bunny cartoons when they're like the dog's or the cat's tail was through the little hole in the fence.
Oh yeah, you pull him right through.
Yeah, we'll pull him right through. I tried that for like a second. Yeah. I tried it once. Like I didn't hurt the cat. I went, but that doesn't work.
Yeah, but where did you buy the fence? Acme?
I didn't buy the fence.
See, if it was an Acme-made product like they did in cartoons, then anything's bound to happen. We're going to take care of a request. Actually, we've got time for 2 more, so we'll spin this one first. Someone requested some music from Frank Zappa. So here you go. You're listening to Lose Control on 93.3 CFMU. 93.3 CFMU. Music from Frank Zappa from a compilation entitled Cheap Thrills. You heard the song Cheap Thrills. 4:54 and change. We're almost out of time and we're almost done here. Manolis, you wanted to plug something really quickly. Did you find the DDR?
No, we're still looking for the DDR and hard drive and all that stuff. I wanted to plug, Kickstarter campaign for Gavin Stevens is called, the what is it here? Hang on a second. I can't read it now. GeeksInheritTheEarth.com. And Girls Night Out podcast that we do. Okay. So if you go Gavin Stevens' website or Facebook, you can probably find it there. And what else? I'm going to be at Yuck Yucks tonight.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you're going to sell merch for us on Saturday?
Probably going to sell merch.
Oh, you have to say yes. Commit to it now. Come on.
I'm going to sell merch on Saturday. Can I sell my own merch too?
Yeah. The more the merrier.
Can I really?
Yeah, for sure. Why not?
That'd be funny.
No.
Why doesn't Manolis should get up and do like a 5 or 10 minute stand up before we play?
That'd be kind of cool. Would you do that?
I don't know about that. I'm not big on like usually in those situations, people just want to. Once the band's done, they want to talk.
How about if you started off though?
Maybe I'd like to try. Maybe
we shall talk.
Okay,
folks, we're out of time, but this is what's going on. Lots is going on. It's also Art Crawl Friday, James Street North from King Street all the way down. Visit all the cool places along James Street and get some of the coolest Hamilton culture and art into you. You know the drill, folks. Pick up a View magazine, read Rick Taylor's column, Hamilton Music Notes, as well as checking out thespec.com. Read Graham Rockingham's articles as well. You can also check all his stories by picking up a hard copy in the Go section. One more song to say goodbye to you, a request for some music from the Ugly Ducklings from the Somewhere Outside record. Another classic, something to be proud of especially us being Canadians, one of the finest Canadian rock and roll bands ever. Here's a song called Just in Case You Wonder. See you at the shows, folks.
Bye.